Hello friends and welcome. I apologize for the clickbait, but I swear this is a really cool play that tOfu made that I think had a huge impact on being able to win game 3 as quickly as they did, and it wasn't even shown on stream because other things were happening at the same time. So I want to walk you guys through it. If you're a support player, you want to be thinking about these kind of things. So let's talk about this lane matchup first. It is Underlord and Lion versus Medusa Undying. The casters and analysts were saying, hey, this should be really tough for them because Undying is the counter to melee strength heroes, right? They should just shut this down. This should be a winning lane. Well, to win the lane, Undying wants it to stay here, and that way he can decay spam and then eventually drop the tombstone, use blood grenades, and run people down this long lane, chase them down, and kill them. That's kind of how you crush the lane as Undying. If you're the off lane, you want to pull Equilibrium back and just keep it here because this is where it's tough for Undying to play the lane. It forces him to go do pulls, and it's not really how you want to play Undying. You want to stay in the lane, just beat people up, deny creeps in front of their face. If you have to come over and do pulls, you're kind of already unhappy with that. So they're going to come up, and at the very start of the game, both teams are actually smoked. It's a replay bug. You don't see them, but they are smoked right now. And so Insania, he's thinking ahead. I want to beat them in the lane. What's their counterplay to that? They're going to have to do stacks back here and try to recover. So he's going to block this camp with one of his sentries. And then coming up here, Lion capped this, and then he's going to block this small camp. Because if we do get the Equilibrium to come back here, I do not want Undying to be able to do a pull and then just bring it right back. So I'm going to block this camp so that once the lane comes back here, it stays back here. But unfortunately, it runs into Insania here. So Insania is just going to recap this, drop his own second sentry here, remove this. So essentially, it's like nothing happened. Both camps are going to spawn like normal, but now all the sentries have been used up, which is going to be a huge deal in just a moment. I'm not sure where tOfu was going, but he was walking up to the enemy side, Insania was waiting for him, and now they kind of run him down. They actually commit 2 blood grenades, one from Insania, one from Mickey, and unfortunately, they don't get the kill. So this is a lot of resources from Insania at this time, and if he killed Lion, it would be fine, because now it's a 2v1 lane while Lion is dead and eventually TPing back. So you just get to bully the Underlord, and you get gold from that kill, that first blood, so you get to buy a bunch of mana regen, and so it doesn't matter that you used all those resources. But unfortunately, he did not get the kill, so although they're bullying Ace a little bit here, Lion actually did not have to go back. He was just healing, and now you can see Insania is pretty much out of mana. He's gonna have to start burning through his mango and stick already, and that's kind of sad, right? I think he would have preferred to come to lane full resources and just focus down this Underlord, but you can see why he goes for that first blood, right? It was really close, and if he'd gotten it, it probably would be a better start to this lane. Because he didn't get it, though, and because he had to use those sentries earlier, here he comes. He knows, okay, my job is still to block this. And although they pulled the lane back a little bit, there's still more Radiant creep, so it is going to push back here. So now I just need to stop this camp from spawning, so I'm going to come body block it. And in most games, this would work, but God Gamer tOfu here stuns Undying into the air, and if you didn't know, the spawn boxes have a Z-axis that you can't see, so some spells, like Earth Spike, knock people up and allow the camp to still spawn. This creep was not quite in the box yet, so here you go. This is insane. At the exact same time, Nisha's getting first blooded in mid, and this is what everyone on stream was watching. So you guys didn't get to see this godly play, but this is incredible because now Lion is going to do a pull next. And Insania on the Undying would usually feel comfortable to just 1v2 stop these kind of pulls, but he's burnt so much resources that it's a little scary to come up here on his own. If he dies, that's not good either, right? So Lion comes and does this pull. He grabs 3 creeps. This one goes forward. That means all of these dire creeps outnumber these Radiant creeps, so these are going to die faster. These creeps are dying to the neutral camp, and so this is pulling Equilibrium back. And Ace, he's rushing for this Ring of Health, buys a little bit more regen in the meantime. Because the lane comes out here, actually, Insania's Courier is going to die as well. It's a whole sequence of events, right? And this whole time, if this pull had been blocked, the lane would just be sitting here right now and actually be staying here because there were more Radiant creeps than there were dire creeps. So the Equilibrium would be locked here for quite a while with no camps. So then Undying is then free to just bully people, body block this again, maybe have a sentry at that point to fully block it. He's free to stack this camp, stack other camps, set up for Medusa. But all of that is cast into, total disorder because of this pull. So now they're having to play up here. And at this point, we can just kind of like fast forward and keep an eye on Ace's gold. He's getting last hits. He's making his way up to the Ring of Health. The equilibrium will just kind of like stay over here. It'll sometimes push out a bit, but it's not a ton. And this is completely bypassing Undying Strength. It's those first few levels, first few minutes that he's supposed to be able to just shut people down. But due to the sequence of events, getting low on mana, this pull happening, we're kind of bypassing it, and now Underlord is going to grab his Ring of Health. Skipping ahead to 10 minutes, Underlord is at the top. It's 300 higher than Medusa, which seems like, oh, that's a pretty even lane, but it's not supposed to be even. Undying is supposed to smash this Underlord, and Medusa is probably supposed to be like 1,000 gold over this Underlord. Instead, he has his Vanguard. He got a fast Helm of Iron Will, actually, and it just meant that from that point, he could not be bullied out of lane, and in fact, he is now the one doing the bullying. When we jump ahead, we see that he has a Crimson Guard and a Halberd extremely quickly, and if you think about the enemy's draft, there are 3 ranged cores and then ranged right-clicking 4 as well. So Medusa with her split shots, she's countered by this Crimson, and then you can even halberd her. The Eidolons are countered, Snipers countered, Wind Ranger Ultimate countered, all by this Crimson Guard and the extra halberd and Underlord's passive, which means in all these team fights, he just does not care. His whole team barely cares. They're all just running in with towers. They know that this Underlord is going to keep them safe with these auras, and they can just make these kind of dives. And all of that started with this stun right here. For you support players out there who sometimes feel like it's hard to see the impact of your plays, it is hard, but this is one example where something as simple as getting your hard camp up against a tough matchup, which will let you pull, that can be a huge difference in the game. I'm not saying Liquid would have won if Insania had successfully blocked this camp or tOfu had missed his stun, but obviously it would have helped their lane, and, this game is extremely complicated, so, maybe it does snowball a series of events. But either way, this is clearly very good for Gaimin Gladiators, and I thought it was a travesty to not be shown on stream, so had to make a video on it. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Support players, don't despair. You matter. You have impact in games. I'll see you in another video.